Hi everybody, and welcome to Nicole Sauce's Thought of the Walk. It is morning, about 7 o'clock. I got up really early. Well, early for me is 5:30. I usually get up at 6:30. So I got up at 5:30 today and decided rather than go straight out on a walk because it was still dark outside and on this road people can't see me as well even though I have a flashlight. So I thought, well, I'll get some other stuff done. So did a bunch of organizing at home and got my reevaluated my schedule because some stuff has come up this week that I need to shift stuff around, and took a little time to talk to some friends, have a quiet cup of coffee, and now here we are with the dogs out on a walk. You know, every time I put the camera on a dog, she pees. That's just the way that is. Anyway, today I wanted to talk to you about risk and taking risks. Life doesn't go anywhere if you don't take risks. Yeah, that's the reality. We've talked about choosing to make things happen. We've talked about owning your decisions, even if they are not the best decisions for you. Just own that you made that decision, because you know that you'll end up needing to deal with it if it goes horribly south, scratching the nose. And then I got to thinking about risk and taking risks, because I've had to make some decisions in the last 6 weeks that are risky. They expose me to failure, and I had to weigh the risks. And the thing about it is, when you think about it, taking a risk in your life and moving forward, if you're really well grounded with a goalpost out there telling you this is about where I'm going, and then some things come up where you have to make a decision and take a risk, maybe you can say, okay, well, if it's successful, does that get me towards the goalpost? Or does it not get me towards the goalpost? And if I fail, does it get me to the goalpost? Or does it put me so far behind that I'm not going to make it? You can look at all of those things. You can look at the risks of what happens when you take no action, which is also a risk. Bad stuff happens when you just sit there and do nothing, right? Like if you're in a crowd of people and they start rioting, which means they like break out in some violence and start vandalizing stuff, and you're in the middle of that crowd of people and you stand there and you do nothing. You don't get away, you don't whatever join in. I wouldn't join in, but you know what I mean. Like if you just stand there and do nothing, you increase your chances of getting hurt. So the risk you take by doing nothing sometimes is worse than, in that situation, rioters are going north, I'm going south. Right? I'm getting out of here. I don't want to be anywhere near this mess. I certainly don't want to be near this mess when police show up in riot gear. Well, same goes with any risk you take in your life. And sometimes when we're taking risks, it's not clear what we need to do. And I've had a couple like that. You know, I'll give you a couple examples. My car broke a couple weeks ago, and I got hooked up with a really good mechanic to fix it. And over the course of the last 10 days, as we've talked about it, it's probably more than 10 days now, the bill, the estimate keeps mounting and mounting. And this is a car I've already fixed a lot. So on the one hand, if I just fix everything on the car, right, then I have a car that's in pretty good shape, and I need reliable transportation for my business, and I need reliable transportation for me because I live in the country. And while I can borrow vehicles of neighbors, better not to live my life dependent on my neighbor's vehicles. So I weighed the risks and I did a calculation, and we were right up at the line where if I go over this line, maybe I shouldn't fix the car. And then I started thinking, you know, here's the line, here's the amount. If I add something to that, I might be able to get a newer car that's in better shape. And perhaps it's time to realize I need to do that. Problem is, I didn't have the money to add, right? So that means I have to go in debt, and I don't like going in debt. So I thought about it, and I thought about all the places I need to drive and all the cars I'm going to have to rent between now and the end of the year if I don't buy a car, because I can't trust my car to get me anywhere that's any further away than like 30 miles, 100 miles, right? And I thought, you know, I don't have the money for the car right now, but I have an emergency fund. I have somebody willing to lend me some money, personal loan, low interest. And I hate going into debt. And I made the decision to take the risk that I'm going to be able to pay that back, which I hate doing. And then I started looking for a car. Couldn't find one. Found one that was on the upper end of the budget, but it's in really good shape. And I committed to getting this car. And then I looked around and I said, how do I make this happen? Because now that I've decided to make the risk, take the risk. It's up to me to be successful in the risk. And for me, success means I don't end up 6 months from now not able to pay the personal loan I'm getting to get a nicer car than was in my car budget. Okay? And as I looked around, I saw a pop-up camper that I don't use. Listed it for sale yesterday, sold. That's $1,000 off that debt right there. $1,000 off in one day. If I can do that every day, I'm going to have this car paid off really fast. Looked around some more. I got a tractor in my yard that I need to sell. It's 4-wheel drive. I don't use it. The reason I don't use it is I have no business maintaining gas, like engine stuff like that, because I don't know how. And I haven't learned how. Again, I'm going to own that. I haven't chosen to learn how, and I don't really need it. It's like a little bit more, if I was going to plant fields and stuff, okay. And it would be nice to have it to like move stuff around, but it doesn't, it has hydraulics, but it doesn't have a front end loader, so I'd have to buy the front end loader. And frankly, the car is more important than the tractor. So I talked to my neighbor Tactical and I said, we have the parts to fix that, because right now it needed some seals replaced. And if we get that up and running now, somebody might buy it. And if somebody buys it, guess what? The money goes towards a car. So he went out and he looked at it. Doesn't need seals. Needed a screw tightened. Guess it's about to be for sale. I'm going to make sure it really works and it's in good shape. Then that tractor's getting listed. And probably what you'll see me doing over the next few weeks is selling a bunch of stuff I should have sold anyway a long time ago. And it's all because I decided to take a risk. So here's the benefits of taking that risk, right? 1, more reliable transportation. 2, I'm doing what I should have been doing with some stuff around my house I don't use. Because there's just no point in keeping stuff you don't use. It just clutters your life. If you clutter your life, you have to deal with the clutter. You have to maintain the clutter. You spend all that time doing that, you're not focusing on your end goal. Your goal for you, your good goal. And so this is forcing me to get rid of that. Maybe the universe made my car blow up for that. I don't know. But if I hadn't decided to take the risk and I had gotten another relatively cheap old car, I'd probably be talking to you again around Christmas time because my car broke again. And it was a hard decision to make. Well, that's what risk is. You never know how it's going to turn out. I still don't know how it's going to turn out. This car could still strand me somewhere next week. I don't think it will. We've gone over it very carefully. But it could still strand me next week. Probably won't though. Because the other thing you can do with risk is mitigate the negative outcomes. There's one part where you choose to deal with anything negative that comes up and rhinoceros through and eat the frogs and all of those things and get it done. But the other thing is, you don't have to be stupid. If you're smart about how you take risks, very often they bring you to a better place. But if you don't take risk, if you go through paralysis through analysis and keep asking questions and keep over rotating on what you're doing, you don't take a step forward. You don't take that step forward, you never get anywhere. So if there's something in your life that's a risk and you've been weighing the benefits and weighing the negative aspects and all of those things, maybe it's time to well, you know, or get off the pot, if you know what I mean. I'll be back on Thursday with another Side of the Walk. I might sneak another one in because I didn't do yesterday, Sunday, so you may get one tomorrow too, don't know. I need to do a tour of the solar inside plumbing for the solar water heater, and that's what's next. Make it a great week.